What's up everyone and welcome to the Draft Dynasty channel. I've got good news for you. I'm gonna try to increase the video production, so instead of one per week, I'm gonna try to go for two. Hopefully I'm able to keep the pace. Also, a lot of you asked to bring back the introduction, so I'm bringing back Elite Prospect. So for this week we have Jamie Drysdale, the number one, the best defenseman of this year. He's pretty young, born in April, 5'11", slightly below average, 170 pounds. Let's go down. So last year in his draft -1, he had 40 points, which is really good. And this year he's running at a point per game. One thing that I want to say about his team, the Area Otters, on the power play, they were pretty bad. So in all the OHL, I think they were the second worst team on the power play. So he could have end up with even more points, I think, because on the power play, they were struggling a lot. So you will see all video long. He's making a lot of great passes, but they're not able to finish. There's not a lot of goal scorer in that team. So maybe he could have made more points, like I said before. One last thing, at the World Junior, he did an incredible job. I wasn't sure if he would have made the team, but he kind of earned his way into the team. It was nice to see. Slowly got more and more responsibility, so he earned the trust of the coaches, and by doing so, he really solidified his place in the top 5, top 10 in this year's draft as the best defenseman overall. Alright, so let's use the premium filter on Elite Prospects. So as always, draft eligible, 20 game minimum, the last 20 years. And I'm gonna rank them by point per game, and you'll see he is ranked 11th. Just below him, there's really good player, Aaron Ekblad, Alex Pietrangelo, Rasmus Sandin, Dougie Hamilton, Drew Doughty, Sergachev, Don, Subban. So you can tell there's a lot of very solid defensemen coming out of the OHL. So it's a really good news to see that he's ranking pretty well compared to the other prospect from previous draft years. And one final stat that I want to throw at you just before we start the clips. So across all the CHL for defensemen that are draft eligible in their draft year, he's ranking number 1 for the primary point per 60 minute played, and this is including power play and even strength. So another good thing, he's leading all the CHL per 60 minute. Alright, let's start with the clips, and I want to start with a bang. So one of my favorite clip right from the start, you're going to be able to notice his skating is unreal. He's so agile. His backward skating when he's backpedaling, when he crossover, he's an amazing skater. I think the prospect game, in the testing, he finished first for backward skating and maybe second for skating forward in a straight line. He's just all around a very, very good skater, and this is the foundation of his game. And you probably already noticed, but skating is, in my opinion, the most important thing in hockey nowadays. And for him, the impact it has on his game, first of all, defensively is super hard to beat on one-on-one just because he's so fast. Sometimes he's behind on the play, but he's able to catch other player. In the offensive zone, he's always moving his feet, so he's never static. Overall, he's very hard to cover for the other team, and sometimes he can take a little bit more chances because he's able to get back in the play because he's faster than everyone else. Also, his skating is super helpful when it comes down to skating the puck from his defensive zone to the offensive zone. So he's a very good puck moving defenseman. He can carry the puck really well. Other than that, when he's getting pressure, he's always going to rely on his feet to kind of get him out of trouble. So it's always in his back pocket. He has this wild card that if he's in trouble, he's going to rely heavily on his elite skating to evade the pressure, buy some time, or simply beat someone in one-on-one.
That's their quartet. As Jamie Drysdale will spin a few more times protecting the puck. Great patience shown, and now he looks to turn on the Jets. Skates by Hillis. Here's Drysdale. Pulls up on the far boards. Still with the puck.
Going in for that loose puck. Petizian right there. Shot came on. Campbell makes the save, and then Petizian's gobbled up like hungry hippos do those marbles. Back the other way for the other.
I'm just gonna break this clip down. This is a very good example of what I was saying before. Whenever he's in trouble, so you can see here he has two guys on his back. No problem. He's just gonna gather his speed, crossover, and just do a zone entry. That's why he's such an effective player, because he can always rely on this ability. Here is an example where he's making a rare mistake, again, none other than Liam Foudy, who's one of the fastest guy in all the CHL, and he's able to get back to him, make up for his mistake.
Puck into the corner. Another Dunkley looking to move it in front for Strong just after the give and go. Drysdale intercepts. Drysdale in some trouble here. Skates behind his net. He'll charge through center ice. Working with Max Gola. Back to Drysdale. Wheels right wing side. Feeds it on in front. Save made.
This was one of the most impressive clip for me. So he's gonna skate backward, and that's the thing. I think most defensemen in this draft, 99%, would have pivot and go forward. But he's so confident about his skating. He's gonna stay backward, and he's gonna cover his partner, D partner. I don't want to talk badly about his D partner, but let's just say he's a big physical guy and not the fastest guy around. And a lot of time I have multiple clips of Drysdale that's going to help him, saving his ass a little bit. And that's nice to see a young guy like that he's not just playing for himself. He's always looking to help his D partner. And whenever you're playing defense, you want to have that chemistry between the two defensemen. And not all the player are helping their D partner. So you have a lot of players at this age that are going to play only for themselves. But he's a guy that's always out there, and every game he's going to help his D.
This up with McMichael on his back. Teammates with Canada at the World Junior.
And on this one, unfortunately, they scored on him, but I still think he did a very good job. Whenever you have a 2-on-1, most goalies are going to tell you, block the passing lane and give me the shot. And he did just that. It's about the best he could have done on this one. I guess while we're at it, we're going to transition to a different category. So earlier we saw the skating, and I said it was the best part about his game. But honestly, this category could also be the best one. He is really elite in that aspect, and it's his hockey IQ. So this guy got one heck of a hockey brain on him, and it's hard to pinpoint and only show a few clips, because with hockey IQ you kind of need to have a bigger sample. You need to see the guy play a lot, and it's just the combination of all the little details that he's doing on the ice that in the end you understand how smart the guy is. And for him it's that and when you break it down, the most simplistic way, hockey, it's just about thousands of little micro decisions that you're doing all over the ice. And that's why it's so powerful. Someone with good IQ is going to make all the difference in the world. A guy that's never doing too much mistake, always taking the right decision. Whenever he has two choice, he's always going to do the right one. One more thing, I'm sure I already talked about that in other video, but skating and hockey IQ, I would say, are the two most important things. And they are also, in my mind, the two hardest to improve on. So if you're not naturally gifted to skate, it's going to be hard to improve. And same thing with hockey IQ. You're not going to be a average hockey IQ guy and become a genius hockey IQ guy in a snap of a finger. And lucky for him, he's elite at both of those things. So that's why I think he's going to be an absolute slam dunk pick. You cannot go wrong with a guy like that. The team that's going to pick him is going to be really happy. And the coach as well, because I think he's going to be a super easy player to coach. He's already have such a deep understanding of the game. Overall, I think this was one of the best clips to highlight is hockey IQ, and it's easy to do the right play when you have the time to do your pass, but when you're under pressure, when you don't have quite as much good passing lane or option, this is where you see the difference between players that are poised or calm and are able to make the right play even when they are under pressure. And through all the game I've watched, he's someone that is really ice cold vein. He's gonna take the best decision no matter what, even if the situation is really bad or even if he's tired, he keep on making the right decision. Let's switch it up. For those that are still here watching, patient enough, I'm going to show you the good stuff. So a few of his goals, and you'll notice he has a pretty good shot. I wouldn't say his shot is elite, but it's very accurate. It could be a bit more heavy. I think with time he's going to get stronger. Eventually his shot going to become better. Right now his shot is just good to very good, but not elite.
With the shot he scores! Jamie Drysdale on the
19:36, the time of the goal and the go-ahead.
Edmonton makes the stop. Now Lavoie, back to Drysdale. He winds in. Drysdale fires, scores! Jamie Drysdale, 3-0 Canada.
Stick. Drysdale's going to look up, and he sees he's got room across the ice. Killinen went to pick up his stick. In this year's June draft, Drysdale's got his head up the whole time.
Just that up for Liam Howell, but had it poked off his stick by D'Amato. Now back the other way is Brendan Selland. Shot comes on and score. It's Jamie Drysdale.
They'll sneak into the play, uncovered, open opportunity to get that shot away, and Drysdale, 9 times out of 10, he is not going to miss that.
And we're gonna finish with this lovely goal in shootout. After that, I'm gonna roll a few clips of his assist. And while you're watching, I'm gonna go over the NHL comparison and also the type of impact I think he's gonna have in the NHL, and as well as his selection at the draft, where I think he's gonna land. So let's start with the NHL comparison. For me, I'm gonna go with Alex Pietrangelo. So of course he's a little bit smaller. I also think he's gonna be maybe better defensively and not quite as good offensively, but nonetheless I think he's gonna project to be a top pairing defenseman that can play in all situations. Maybe not your top power play, maybe more of a second wave, but I still think he can do a fairly good job even on the top power play. Other than that, penalty killing, defensively very solid, he's gonna play a lot of minutes. Now in terms of ranking on my list, at first my original plan was to put him right after the two Swedes, so behind Raymond and Holtz. Now after watching Raymond closely and Drysdale closely, I think it's clear that I'm gonna have Drysdale ahead of Raymond and also ahead of Holtz. So now I would say Drysdale is battling against Byfield. It may sound crazy. I mean, I would never have thought comparing the two. For me, it was obvious that I would have Byfield ahead of him. But now I'm starting to think about it a bit more. And if you look past in all the international tournament, I think Drysdale outplay Byfield. And also during the year, I think maybe Drysdale improved a bit more than Byfield. Byfield was exceptionally good first in the league play, and he still was good after the World Junior. But I mean, I'm just saying, I'm probably gonna have Byfield ahead of Drysdale, but it's not out of question. I think they're much more closer than people think.
Now it's Drysdale at the point with possession. Watched by Benton as he charges across the blue line. Hands off in the slot. Yetman shoots. That one.
For the last two categories, I think most of you are going to be pretty surprised. So let's start with the first one. It's going to be active stick. So defensively, he's cutting down a lot of plays. His stick is always at the right place, at the right time. He has a special ability to anticipate the play, and he's really effective with his stick. And for me, when I was younger, I was really slow. I'm still really slow, but I had a pretty good stick defensively. So I was good at cutting down play. So it was making up a little bit for my lack of speed, but with him, he's actually really fast. Plus, he has a good active stick, good instinct, and good IQ. So I think all the stars are aligned for him to be a very successful defensive player, a guy you can rely on to shut down the other team's best players.
And he's tied up by Josling, and here comes McGregor left wing side with Josling. Can't get the pass, but it comes right in by Voigt. Again to the near corner of the honor zone. Drysdale battling with Voigt. Voigt takes it away, but it's...
As you can see, he is pretty good at it, and it's a skills and ability that is often overlooked. And you're not gonna see a guy say, "Oh, bro, I trained all summer my defensive stick, getting better at it." It's not something a player are gonna put a lot of time to work, but in the end, when you add all the little plays that he's cutting down, it's really powerful ability to have. Alright, let's switch to the final category, and this one I'm pretty sure a lot of you would not have guessed it, and it's going to be the physicality. Since he's 5'11", a little bit on the shorter side, I did not saw that coming, but he's really effective on one-on-one battle. He's not doing unnecessary big bone crushing hits, but he's winning a lot of 50-50 puck battles. He's just a crafty guy overall physically, so he's never overpowering anybody. He's not ultra strong, but at the end he's still winning a lot of puck battle, and this is the result that's important. And speaking of that, this is a subject that I found a little bit annoying, and every time people are talking about, let's say, Quinton Byfield, he's gonna be my next video, by the way, but every time people are talking about him, they're telling, oh, he's big, he's strong, but in reality, he's not someone that's finishing his check really that much. He's not using his physical attribute a whole lot. And you have, for example, player like Marco Rossi that are winning a lot of puck battle. They're strong on the board. Player in NHL like Brad Marchand, guys like that, they're short but they play big. And you have big players that play small. You always need to be careful with that. Anyways, that's just my opinion. This is gonna be it for this episode. If you like it, please drop a like, comment below, subscribe, do all the jazz. And the next episode is going to be on Quinton Byfield. I think I'm going to be able to do it for this weekend. And because of the coronavirus shenanigan, I hope everyone is safe at home. Don't do anything stupid. Don't go outside if you don't have to. I strongly recommend going into full lockdown. Stay home. watch all my YouTube video. It's going to be really good for you. And for me, you don't have to worry. I'm gonna stay home, not leaving the house, and I'm watching hockey 24/7. Peace.